You hold yourself in those emotions of worry or doubt or discouragement or disappointment. Those emotions mean you got plenty of thoughts going on that are contradictory to that desire. So even though you want it, but all of those buts, as you are facing your current reality, keep you from being in that agile clarity, in that receptive mode where you receive these often very subtle impulses to move in the direction of something. When you're really tuned in, tapped in, turned on, when you are feeling so good, when you've been meditating or basking or appreciating, and you're in love with life, you're in love with life in this moment, you're in that receptive mode where when non-physical influences, as it is doing all the time, you receive the subtle nudge. And if you allow yourself to go with the flow of that subtle nudge often enough, it becomes less and less subtle. It becomes so obvious to you, so that you just get these hits. Esther will say, I got a hit on this, or this hunch, this feeling, this impulse to do something, an impulse that you learn to follow, an impulse that you don't second guess with reality facing, or you don't second guess with rules, or with trying to please others, or with trying to consider too many points of view. You get to the place where you're just free flowing, and this subtle knowing of non-physical is realized by you, and then law of attraction, which causes the momentum of it to become more, comes on and comes on and comes on until before you know it, you're romping in the direction of the full realization of what you want. As we're visiting today, and we're talking about that full, manifested, see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it version of your life that you want. And it's good that you want it. You're here for that. You're here because you are brilliant, genius creators out here on this leading edge. And this leading edge is where all of us are focused too. So when you are here getting to realize in its fullness, where not only you can see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it, but others who are witnessing you doing that, once it manifests, it is evident. And we know that's what you want. And it's what we want for you too. But if you are impatient about that, then you're messing up the journey in between. You're slowing the journey of manifestation down. You're not having fun along the way. And often you keep yourself, without meaning to, in a holding pattern where sometimes you've had a desire for quite a long time, but your practical mind, your determination to face reality and check it out with others who don't know how this works either, holds you in a place where you don't get what you want soon enough. And then you develop patterns of acceptance of slowness, or acceptance of discouragement, or acceptance of so much less than you want and deserve. And so as we're visiting here today, we want to help you to understand how this all works and how you can work within it. You cannot change law of attraction. It's powerful and it's responding to you constantly. But you can learn to work within it, just like you've learned to work with gravity. You don't step off too many cliffs expecting to float away. You understand that it is a law, and its characteristics are consistent, which makes it easy for you to learn your way within it. So your inner being is always offering suggestions, understanding what your path of least resistance is, or a more positive way of saying that would be your path of most allowance. Your inner being knows what your hang-ups are and doesn't worry about them and doesn't try to get you to get over them. Your inner being just guides you around them. Have you ever been on the way out the door without your keys or without your phone and then thought, oh, better turn that light off, and when you turn the light off, you see your keys or your phone? whatever it takes to get you to wherever you want to be. Your inner being is all about that. But you've got to find a way to be less resistant about your connection to your inner being, because if you're not hooked up to that, then you can't receive the message. You've got to be somewhere in the vicinity, you see. So creation is a delicious and wonderful thing, and movement toward manifestation is supposed to be really, really fun for you. But you make a lot of trouble for yourself that you don't need to make for yourself. You just do. And one of the things that you do that holds you up is that you want the manifestation and you believe you will be happy when it comes, but you're willing to be unhappy until it comes. And that's what messes you up, because you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. And besides that, you know, these manifestations, they come and they feel great for a bit. But it's not long before they're like gum that you've chewed all the flavor out of. And so then you're looking for another and another. And we want you to just get in the habit of enjoying the unfolding, enjoying the receptive mode, enjoying the clues and the hints that you receive, enjoying you getting to witness the unfolding of what you are creating. It's like hands in the clay. How much fun would it be to go to an art class where you learn to make some magnificent sculpture and you just slap your clay down on the counter, and then your instructor says, "Would you go get me a drink of water, please?" And while you're gone, they make something lovely. And when you come back, they say, "Ta-da!" And you say, "Well, that was not very satisfying." And your instructor said, "Wow, it was faster. It's a lot faster." But you don't want someone else to die in you. You think you do, but you don't. Because the whole fun is in the unfolding. The whole fun is in the you being in the receptive mode. The whole fun is the rendezvousing with the others and the watching it unfold and the adding to it as you go along. In other words, creation is about hands-on. It's not about getting it done. And the good news is that with everything that manifests, there's a whole chain of more things in the pipeline that you get to be active about. And so after a while, you just get so you accept that whatever it is that you want, you can accomplish, that there literally is nothing that is left outside of your ability to achieve it. And life just keeps producing for you new ideas of what that is. And once you get the hang of it, then you will just joyously enjoy the unfolding of this. So that's really what we wanted to say in the beginning, just to sort of get you in the frame of mind for what's coming next, because we want to talk with you about anything that matters to you. And we want to show you if there's something that you're doing that is preventing you from being in that receptive mode. We want to help you to smooth out the bumps in that. We want to go general enough. We want to get you in the mindset that you can become more expectant of what you want to be. We're going to help you face reality a little less today, because you are really not meaning to be facers of reality. You are meaning to be creators of reality. But your current reality matters because it's the bouncing off place of so much more.
I had a life-changing event where I was in the hospital and I could have died. And while I was with nothing but a hospital gown and hospital socks, no material things whatsoever, and it was just me and my thoughts, and I said, this can't be it. If my life ended today, I just felt like
you are still eager for more.
There has to be more.
Well, even if that had been your croaking moment, there still would be more. But what you were acknowledging from that contrasting experience is, I want more of this. I'm not done with this. I want more sifting and sorting and deciding and vortexing and aligning and receiving and manifesting. In other words, I've come to do stuff. So what you were in that sort of state of giving in or giving up, there was a releasing of resistance where you felt clarity from your inner being that there is more for you. You're translating it a little differently than your inner being was presenting it to you, which is easy to understand under the circumstances, but you're not done with this.
So here lays the problem. I have a job that I've been on for 19 years. But it's that feeling in my soul that I know that I'm supposed to be doing more. And I ask myself, why are you settling? But I don't know what to do. And I don't know if it's fear.
Here's the thing that we want you to understand. And you'll hear this easily because you heard all of the other things that we've been talking about. Right. So you're ready to hear this. So while you've been doing that, you haven't been settling. You've been defining and clarifying and asking. And you've filled your vortex full of improvements. The settling, the reason you're using that word, is because you've been thinking rather than receiving. Through all the contrast and all the step wanting that you've been living and all the good and the not so good with that job, you've put so much there that's all moving, it's in motion, the cooperative components have been gathered, and you're going to feel this in a strong way, so brace yourself just a little bit. In the same way that you felt so powerfully, there's got to be more when you were lying there in that hospital bed, there's got to be more. That's the way you feel about this too. There's got to be more, and there is more. But right now, because you can't see it or hear it or smell it or taste it or touch it, because it's got to come along here until you can. So you've got to be willing to start with the subtle clues. See, this is what happens with so many people who are beginning to get the idea of all of this and beginning to receive, is that in the beginning, when you're first right up against this receiving mode and those first thoughts are coming, they're subtle. Esther says to Jerry all the time, because he made his transition and now he's talking to her from non-physical, and it was sure a lot easier to hear him when he was in the room with her, because she could be in any mood she chose and she could still hear him. But now she's got to be tuned in, tapped in, turned on, because he's on a different frequency. And as he speaks to her sometimes in the early phases of a conversation about some new subject, sometimes it's so subtle she has to really, really tune to it, you see. And sometimes when you have to really tune to something, if you're not really in the mood or if you're not practiced at it, you don't do it. And that's what settling is. Settling is reaching for the manifestation because it's easier. It's easier to respond to what you're seeing and hearing than it is to what you're receiving. And sometimes you don't trust yourself quite in the beginning of it because it is subtle. But as you listen, this meditation will take you there easily. And as you listen, you will hear. And as you respond to what you're hearing, you will witness, and then you will know, you see. So settling is just trying to work it out the hard physical action word way, while what you're really wanting to do is tune into your inner being who knows, who will guide you. Because you said, I don't know what to do or where to go or what I should be doing or how to make it work better or who I should be doing it with or where I should look. In other words, you're full of all of those questions, but your vortex is full of all of those answers. Well, you can't ask questions and receive answers at the same time. So you got to stop asking the question. You've asked it enough. And the answers are there. Now it's time to just sort of chill out, have a good time. Don't worry so much about what you're doing or not doing. You're not on the brink of croaking. That's one of the things that you took away from that your inner being is not at all offering to you. It kind of gave you a feeling of a shortness of time, and there isn't that. Or it gave you a feeling that you ought to be doing something more important, and there isn't any of that. It's just your vortex is calling you. And when you don't go, you don't feel so good. That's all. We agree with you. That time that you've spent there has been time enough to create all kinds of wonderful things. But we don't agree with you that you've settled, because if you had settled, you'd be happy in that job still. In other words, you're not settled, you're unsettled. You're not settled, you're unsettled. unsettled is a good thing. It means you're still asking. So tune into that and watch what happens.